Morning, girls, and welcome back to something that is kind of Amberlynn Reid related, but kind of also Becky related. So, Becky has come out 17 hours ago with a community tab post, followed up shortly after by another one. So, I'm going to get involved in this pretty quickly and just try and cover off the points. So, she said, and it's kind of in broken English because I'm sorry, she's just not the greatest typer in the world, but whatever. So, I have been threatened that if I speak on my truth, the law will be involved. Laughing, crying face, look how I was publicly treated, but I'm being threatened with the law. Okay, so I'm going to cover this bit first because this bit directly links in with her follow-up one, which said, she wants me to clear up that I mentioned the law first. Yes, back last September. Why? Because she wouldn't stop talking about me. This time, though, she said, if either of us talk about each other, we can get the law involved. That was just a few days ago since she texted me that. Okay, so I kind of want to get involved with this one pretty early because, okay, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, in kind of a skewed way, in my opinion. Like, I didn't know this had happened. That's why it wasn't mentioned in my last video whatsoever. I saw a couple of people was commentating on it. So I thought I would say, is Becky wrong to have threatened the law initially? Yes, she certainly is. However, I actually understand it more for Becky because I see a lot of people just talking about it from Amber's point of view and saying Amber's an awful evil person for threatening Becky with the law. However, yes, in my opinion, Becky did bring it up first, so like Becky is kind of to blame for bringing the general threat of the law into this thing. But I understand it more for Becky because Becky, she probably feels like really pushed up against the wall. She has like a 200,000 subscriber YouTuber sitting there and shitting on her repeatedly online, using it for money after promising her that she was going to get half of the money from like videos and everything like that she was in. Ended up apparently backing out of the promise. I understand why Becky would probably feel like she's pressed up against the wall. Is it silly that she still threatened an innocuous the law? Yes, because does this really fit into like criminal harassment or anything like that? I don't know American law. I don't really know what the exact definition is, and I'm not going to look it up just to talk about it here. But I doubt it. Usually harassment requires you to actually like contact the person specifically. It's why harassment is like showing up at someone's house or phoning them, or like they block you on an account and you create a new account and start like messaging them repeatedly there because obviously you aren't going to be talking about them. That's what like harassment is. If I, like, for example, me, I am not harassing Amber by making videos on her or talking about her. I'm not harassing Foodie Beauty or Boogie or anyone like that by making videos on them. Even people go like, oh, you've made numerous videos, and as such, that becomes harassment. It does not, because there is no connection between me and them. I can talk about them what I want. Goober agrees with me, and she's basically a solicitor. There's no connection between us. If I was going every day to Amberlynn's page going, hey, fatty, hey, why don't you eat some cheeseburgers, fatty? Why, yeah, fatty. If I was doing that every day, like, yeah, you could actually argue harassment a lot more than if it's like, oh, you make videos on her. It's like, yeah, so she's a public figure on a public platform. I'm making videos on a public figure on a public platform publicly. I'm totally allowed to do it. It's like if you break up with your girlfriend, you're not allowed to show up at her house at 2 a.m. every morning to scream at her and call her the N-word, but you can sit there in your house and say, do you know what, she was a bitch, I didn't like her. She can't kick down your front door and go like, hey, you're not allowed to badmouth me in your own house. You're just allowed to. I'm sorry, that's the rule of things. Even if the person you're complaining about goes and tells her you're complaining about her, who for her, doesn't make any fucking difference. So her involved in the law is stupid, but I do understand it a wee bit more than Amber trying to threaten the law, because Amber's trying to threaten the law because she's trying to bully Becky. However, the one thing I want to draw attention to is that if either of us talk about each other, we can get the law involved. That was just a few days ago. The Destiny phone call was over a week ago now, maybe 2 weeks ago now. During that, she claimed that ages ago, her and Becky had made this agreement. So it's kind of suspicious that Becky is saying this agreement is only from a few days ago, when she was texted that by Amber. Firstly, also, Becky should just block Amber if she doesn't want to hear from her. I think that's probably the much smarter way to go, because then if Amber does keep trying to pester her and keep trying to find ways to contact her after she blocks her, that actually could be construed as criminal harassment. So just, Becky, in case you ever hear this, it's just something to keep in mind. Maybe block her for your own good, and then, you know, if she does keep pestering you, then it's actually something you can actually get the law involved in. This is more likely going to be a civil suit if it's going to be anything along those lines. Defamation and everything, but defamation in America, from what I know, is incredibly hard to prove, because freedom of speech, everything along those lines, you have to prove that what you said was knowingly false. I think that's what falls into defamation. But Becky saying, look at all this bad stuff that she did to me, I didn't like her, it's like fucking Destiny's calling her swamp ass. It's like, she doesn't have to go to court and like prove that she has a swamp ass. Destiny doesn't have to do that. She just goes like, well, I thought she smelled bad, and yeah, she has a swamp ass. That's it, you know. Amber also can't really prove damages in any way against Becky. If Becky does come out and like shit all over her, she can't really prove damages. Amber is already incredibly unpopular. It's not like she's going to go from like a 90 to a 95% dislike ratio on videos and she go, oh, see, because of Becky, people don't like me. It's like, people already didn't like you. It's like, I'm pretty sure Hitler couldn't like come back to life today and sue Quentin Tarantino for making him look bad and Inglourious Bastards. It's like, well, everyone already disliked you, so it's not like you lost anything by people shitting on you. So we'll go back into this. We'll go to the next part. I saw the breakup video, and the reason she's being so graceful with this one is because she thought I wasn't good enough, but this one somehow was. I did everything for her, and just like always, I was treated like garbage. I suffer every day because of what I was put through, but I'm the one who has to stay quiet. How is that fair? So that obviously ties back into the whole being threatened thing, which, yes, like as I've already mentioned, it is not a thing. Becky can easily go online and talk about Amber anytime she fucking wants to. It is a free world. It is a free fucking world. You do not live in a country where like it's censored and she is not like the Chinese government in China and you can't talk about her. You're more than able to go online and talk about her, just like I am, just like Narcolert is, just like Zachary Michael is, all of them. She doesn't have a case to sue them unless they're knowingly making up false information about her, which could potentially get her in trouble in real life or make her have obvious, clear, defined losses. So Becky, more than likely, can go out, do it if she wants to. Yes, she might have to deal with Amber threatening her. It's like, oh, I'll sue you if you don't take it down. Boo fucking who. She'd lose the lawsuit 100 times over. Also, to put it bluntly, Becky, if you do somehow ever listen to this, you have more money than Amber. Amber probably would be stunned at hearing that, but Becky has more money than Amber. Do you know why? Because if Amber sues Becky, the amount of money Becky would raise in a fundraiser would blow Amber out of the water. Becky wouldn't have to worry. She'd have the best solicitor Kentucky can buy. She would fucking demolish Amber in court. So honestly, if you want to help out Becky a wee bit, Amber, sue her. Sue her and see how that turns out with a fucking really ravenous fan base who really don't like you and have a lot of spare money because your fan base is luckily kind of in that older demographic. Plenty of people with a disposable income, more than happy to give it to Becky. So, I don't know. See how that goes. I hardly disagree with this whole, like, reaction to the breakup. Like, so I was like, oh, she's acting so nice with this one. She didn't act nice with me. In my opinion, with this one, more than likely it's because of a non-disclosure act, like an NDA or something along those lines. A non-disparagement agreement as well. I think that's also what they're called. Where pretty much she will try and throw a wee bit of subtle shade, but she won't really go ham and, like, fully insult her or like try and like drag her or anything. Because I think it probably is in agreement that she is not allowed to shit on her, and similarly, Wifey is not allowed to come out later on and do expose videos because Amber has learned. Amber has learned because for ages people have been like talking about her and her previous ex-girlfriends. I think with this one she is smarter now. She knows how it's going to end. If she does break up with Wifey or Wifey breaks up with her, she will then look like an idiot and people will want to interview her. So I think she knows full well, oh, I'll get her to sign an NDA whilst they're still together, and more than likely that is in effect. And that's why they have to pretend to be friendly. And that's probably why in the last video they were just so stilted and they didn't come across like that. Like, I've seen better chemistry at the first date of an anime convention speed dating thing. Like, they're so fucking awkward together. They don't seem like someone who have lived together for 2 years and have, oh my god, we have all these inside jokes, guys. Chee. Doesn't come across like that whatsoever. That's probably why, like, I don't know, maybe it's part of the agreement. It was said in the contract, you have to appear in a fucking, like, you're basically an employee. You have to appear in one final YouTube video where you're not allowed to put down Amber. You're not allowed to shit on Amber. Who knows? Who knows? But could be the case. I don't know. I don't know if NDAs or anything like that are disclosable in America, so I don't fucking know, guys. You Americans, you guys have to take the reins to that one. I think Becky kind of looks a wee bit silly by kind of acting like, oh my god, I'm being treated so badly. People are like really, you know, she's being really mean to me. You know, all this. I don't know. It feels bad her saying it now, like right now, to do with the breakup, because it makes it seem like she's bitter that the breakup with Wifey seems to be going better than the breakup with her. That seems a bit bitter, especially 2 years on. I probably would have avoided going with that because I think it makes her look a little bit silly. And if she does come out now, I think Amber could probably point at this a wee bit better and say, look, she's just jealous because me and my old ex-girlfriend are able to stay friends. So obviously me and Becky couldn't stay friends because Becky was actually the one at fault, feeling so much better. I think it kind of gives Amber a wee bit of ammo to use against you in the future, but really I don't think Amber has a fucking chance in hell against Becky if it really goes down to that anyway. So yeah, hopefully Becky does come out and give some information regarding it. once again, like I said, Amber is very clearly keeping an eye on Becky. If the second after she fucking posted this, like, because what the time, it's like a couple hour different, like, shortly after she posted this, Amber was already blowing up her phone to complain to her and get her to clarify points, which is mental, by the way. That is mental. That is pure abuse. You're telling people to correct their community posts and trying to like censor them and stuff. It comes across as crazy, because even that's that she wants me to say that I mentioned the law first. It's like, well, why I would include that, because like you're not being even dishonest by saying I have been threatened that if I speak on my truth, the law will be involved. Like, you're not being dishonest in that at all, like, at all. Because, like, Amber can't argue that. Amber can't say, oh, if I was speaking my truth, it's like, no, you're just shitting on her. You're just shitting on her and using her for fucking content. But Becky isn't using you for content by putting up a community tab post being like how I treated her. That's not the case, okay? So, obviously, like I said, timeline doesn't really make sense. Like the Destiny phone call, where they apparently had this agreement from months ago, even though now she's saying it was only a few days ago. Amber is obviously being crazy and still fucking stalking Becky. Becky doesn't have a chance in hell of actually being sued and actually losing. And Amber is still just kind of insufferable and fucking psychotic. So, yeah, that's going to be the video, guys. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.